We love hip hop.
Big salute to Justin Hunt, man. That's my brother right there, man. Let's react to this, man. Make sure to subscribe to his channel right now. That's the company man on YouTube. He's got a lot of informative content, a good point of view when it comes to this hip hop stuff, and a very even keeled point of view when it comes to this. You know what I'm saying? And he does real journalism. You know what I mean? If he has to go behind the scenes and hit somebody up and find out some info for a piece, he's gonna do it. You know what I'm saying? He does what he needs to do to make sure that he gets some good content out in this mofo. Let's check this out.
I think I have this conversation quite a bit with my audience, right? And I don't think people, I think I even talked about this in a video recently. I don't think people understand how the music business works, how the music industry works. I think that, there are a lot of times where you're speaking to the culture, and there's a lot of times when you're speaking for the culture, right? So if you're speaking, to the culture, it's a bar fest, or it's something organic that has to 100% come from you if you're speaking to the culture.
Right.
But in situations where you're at the Grammys, right, and you're up against A.W.O.L or Beyonce, you're trying to win an award, it takes a team to even compete with all the writers that are happening in every other genre. So where solitary genius.
Just to give you all some quick context to this part of the conversation, because we had roughly, I would say, a 90-minute to 2-hour conversation. This was about a few months ago back now, during the time when the whole Rick Ross debacle went down. And with that right there, we discussed a lot of different things. This was in the heat of the whole Kendrick Lamar Drake battle. And we got into a conversation about the ghostwriting stuff and, being real hip hop, or, just the responsibilities that somebody who's like, more than just a rapper, a pop star may have. And I was defending Drake with the whole having writers and different people helping, you know what I'm saying? And it took us into a conversation about the quote unquote OVO sweatshop and how I think it's a myth.
Is it paramount? You know what I mean?
Yes. But I feel that hip hop moves the goalpost for a lot of people, because Dr. Dre speaks to the culture. He has 2 albums and the Compton album where he's speaking from the perspective of, this is me, this is my story, this is how I feel about the industry, this is how I feel about Compton. And he don't write a lick of any of his stuff. And nobody says, well, listen, man, what's up with that? Because, okay, well, he's the producer, he's the legendary producer, so he doesn't have to write any of his stuff. He's a full rapper.
Well, I think the difference is that, one, that is a huge difference. The producer, he's more of a Quincy Jones kind of producer than, but then 2, he doesn't walk around saying he's the greatest rapper.
No, I'm not saying that.
That's a big dividing line. So I think that's why Dre doesn't get that kind of.
Yes.
Same thing with Kanye. Kanye doesn't get that same kind of critique for the same reasons. And both of them are very upfront about who writes their stuff, or they don't mask it. It's not like they have to do research to figure out who wrote for Doc. When he sounds like Eminem, he sounds like Eminem. Eminem, 20 years, finally dropped a dope diss track. Personally, I know that. The number of times I hear Drake say he's the greatest, and I'm like, but you were clearly in the Young Money, Cash Money camp. You know what I mean? Like, that is a collaborative writing camp.
Yeah, but I still think he can say he's the greatest. Hold on a second. I might need to start a poll right here. Jeez. Mic drop. Can you be the greatest with assistance? Let's take the caps off. Can you be the greatest with assistance? All right. Oh, snap. Salute to Justin Hunt over here in the chat with the immediate no. Okay. I want to go out on a limb.
I don't know if that's a limb. I think there's a lot of people who've been making that point and arguing that point. I don't know if you're out there by yourself. Why would you say that?
Who else is delivered at this clip? Whether you have your writers, yourself, he's writing a lot of his stuff himself, and he's still writing for other people, right? So you got that workload that's going on. Like, you got to look at it like somebody who has a bunch of different workloads on his desk. He's doing all these different things, remaining the top rapper, showing up on road all the time, being like a visible like pop star. And he's been successful longer than anybody else has been able to be successful in this game, using all the tools that is at his disposal.
Kanye's been successful more longer, or he's been more successful longer.
Okay, successful longer, but I mean the top, being at the top. Like, Drake has held the top spot for 13 years.
I think if you're just talking, if anyone's just talking streams, sure. I can't.
Nas. Yo, Justin, if you want to pop out also, there's a link at the top of the chat that I have pinned there. He says Nas. Here's the thing with Nas. Nas is in my top 5 of greatest rappers of all time. Me personally. However, we're not going to act like Nas never got any help with anything. Maybe not his 16s or the 32s, the bars that he's writing that are inside of the songs. But I'm sure being in the industry, especially when you get to a certain level, you're going to get bare reference tracks, and all you got to do is just fill in the blanks. There might even be a flow on there. You're not going to take the lyrics, but you'll put your own bars to it, like I've heard Drake do many times. But, that whole template is sitting right there for you. To me, that's assistance. That person didn't write your bars, but a lot of the heavy lifting was done. Eminem, somebody said. Let me put some respect. Trey Carter said Eminem. The Slim Shady. And don't say Freddie Gibbs. Stop this. It's not the greatest of all time. Let's not do that. Eminem has had help with songs as well. I'm not going to say the bars, but also the same philosophy goes in there. The template was given to you. Add bars here. There might even be a flow in there that you can just, add your own words to that. We got you. Easy work, especially when it comes to making a song that's going to be a huge hit song. Was it Toy Soldiers? There was a song specifically that DJ Czar, who's like a big time Eminem aficionado, who told me, oh, he got help with this song. It was the hook. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying it's bars. Okay. I know there's lines when it comes to this. However, when it comes to Drizzy Drake, I still think for the amount of different things that he does besides rapping, he's still going to go down as the GOAT. Let's continue. It's a little side rant.
Say that he's been the top lyrically. For me,
not lyrically, just the top guy. This is the pressure to be that and just keep doing that and he releases like 2-3 projects a year a lot of the times, man. Like,
yeah,
you got to be a robot, dude. Whether you're writing all of it or not.
I respect what you're saying, but to me, that's not. That would be, to me, that I don't want to say that's not. To me, that is probably his greatest GOAT quality is that he can churn out a lot of music and make a lot of hits in one way or another.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? That's definitely a GOAT quality. I'm not trying to be. I know I sound like I'm trying to poke holes in it.
It's kind of reductive. It's not just the hits.
It sounds like I'm poking a hole in it. I'm doing my best to come across as fair.
Yeah.
I do think I did a Drake GOAT piece, and that's one of the things I talk about. I also think that the GOAT conversation is a lot of times it's really personal. It's intrinsic. It's how an individual feels about their own preferences.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And for me, there are the most glaring thing missing from Drake's GOAT resume, is the lack of perspectives in which he can rap within. You know what I mean? Like he talks about this in interviews, you know, how he really can't tell a story unless he's not in it. You know, you don't get third person storytelling from Drake. You don't get, you don't get.
Third person storytelling, I'll say maybe not. But Drake does have some storytelling songs. Definitely that song from Views, Western Road Flows. Pure storytelling through that whole song. From his perspective, most definitely. But, you know, actually from the city's perspective, when you really, really take in Western Road Flows, down to the clubs that we all went to. That's when I first heard that song, and the mentions of certain names like Big Apple, big salute to Big Apple. That shit hit me in the soul. I was like, damn, bro, you took me back to the days. What else? My brother on the new For All the Dogs, those little extra songs, that song, My Brother, he was going in on some storytelling bars. It wasn't a full storytelling song, but I do hear you. You know what I'm saying? Let's continue.
Any consciousness or social consciousness, rather, from Drake, and these two things are intrinsic in my view, and they're intrinsic to Black American music, especially foundational Black American music, just in general. There's always some consciousness. You go back to anything, you know, so it's anybody who doesn't have that or doesn't do that, especially in hip hop, when, you know, you get rappers alike and you get the message, you know what I mean? That was really speaking for, you know, Black urban youth in the Bronx in a dilapidated economic situation, and that's missing. That is a huge hole in a.
It depends, though. It also depends on who's the audience member. The people who find that intrinsically important are not part of his core audience. They're not part of the people who run up his streams. In the end of the day, yes, Drake is hip hop, or he's part of the hip hop culture, but he's doing way bigger than what the hip hop culture is. The hip hop culture is expecting certain things from him, but he has a way bigger mission going on, man. He did a whole house album. Yes, hip hop is a part of his thing. Yes, he is a rapper. But if you were to just look at Drake as the mission of Drake, it's not to be the best rapper in the world. It's to be the biggest entertainer, bigger than Michael Jackson. So that goes beyond rap. It goes beyond hip hop.
Big salute to Justin Hunt. He's gonna make a really great point also with Michael Jackson having some conscious tunes like I'm looking at the man in the mirror. I'm not gonna get a copyright for you, Mike. RIP to you though. But yeah, it's good debating. Good debating. I always like having good hip hop debates with Justin Hunt here. And what's the poll that I started? A little trouble poll here. Can you be the greatest with assistance? 53% is saying yes right now. 47% is saying no. I'm going to keep that up here for now. We love hip hop.